Welcome to the Copperfield Electric Podcast. Okay, so whenever we talk about a home renovation, especially a kitchen remodel, people's minds go straight to the fun stuff, the visible stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like the quartz countertops, the farmhouse sink, those soft close cabinets.
They're so satisfying.
They really are. But today, we're going deeper. We're diving into the invisible nervous system of your home. We're talking about what's happening behind the drywall.
It's the stuff you don't see, until something goes very wrong. And in a kitchen, when it goes wrong, it's not just an inconvenience. It can be a genuine hazard.
Exactly. It's the difference between that dream kitchen and a nightmare. So, for this deep dive, we're pulling from two really solid sources to get the full picture.
Okay.
First, we have a technical guide. It's called Essential Electrical Wiring for Modern Kitchen Remodels
Yeah.
by Renee Hernandez. Just came out January 26th, 2026. This is kind of our technical Bible for today. And we're pairing that with the service philosophy and background of Copperfield Electric, a family-owned business right here in Southern California.
Which is a really smart pairing because Hernandez gives us the technical what to do, the code, the physics. But Copperfield shows us the reality of how it gets done in the field.
Right, in our local context. So our mission here today for you, the listener, is to help you understand why a kitchen remodel is so much more than cabinets and countertops. It's about calculating load, it's about safety codes, and really future-proofing your home.
And we are looking at this through a specific lens, right? We're talking Southern California, specifically Orange County.
Yep, so Irvine, Anaheim, Santa Ana, Costa Mesa.
Newport Beach, all those areas. And you have to remember, the kitchen is by far the most power-hungry room in the house now.
It wasn't always, though.
Not at all. It used to be a stove and a fridge. Now it's packed with tech. And if you get that wiring wrong, best case scenario, you fail your inspection. Worst case, you've built a fire hazard.
Okay, let's really dig into that power-hungry idea. One of the first big things from the Hernandez guide is this whole concept of planning for adequate power supply. It's like, imagine trying to run a marathon while breathing through a tiny coffee stirrer.
That is a perfect, if terrifying, analogy.
Yeah, that's what you're doing to your kitchen on old wiring, right?
Essentially, yes. The pipe just isn't big enough for the flow. And that brings us to the first rule that trips people up, pun intended, the dedicated circuit.
Okay.
The Hernandez guide is crystal clear on this. High-power appliances cannot share power, period. They need their own private lanes on the electrical height.
A private lane. So break that down for me. I can't just plug my giant new electric range into the same loop as my refrigerator.
Absolutely not. I mean, you physically could, but you really shouldn't. Think about when a refrigerator's compressor kicks on. It's this huge surge of power.
Right.
If your microwave is running at that exact same moment on the same circuit, you're asking for more amps than the breaker can handle. And then, pop.
And everything goes dark.
It's an electrical traffic jam. A collision, really. Your electric range, your dishwasher, the fridge, the microwave, they draw massive amounts of current. They need their own dedicated road back to the panel.
Like an HOV lane just for the dishwasher.
Exactly. And you can contrast that with, your smaller stuff, the blender, a toaster, the coffee maker. Those can usually share a standard outlet because they don't have that sustained heavy load. But the heavy hitters need to be isolated.
And there's another layer here. The guide talks about selecting the right wiring. I think most of us just assume, wire's a wire.
I wish. No, the gauge, the actual thickness of the copper inside is incredibly important. And it's a little counterintuitive. With wire, the smaller the number, the thicker the wire.
Right, like shotgun shells.
Exactly like that. So a simple lighting circuit might use a 14-gauge wire, but a big electric range, that might need 6-gauge wire, which is thick, heavy stuff. If you use a toaster wire for a range, that wire will heat up.
And heat inside a wall is bad.
Heat inside a wall is very, very bad. It can melt the insulation. It can cause a fire. The wire has to match the appliance. It's physics, but it's a step people love to skip.
That is a sobering thought.
Yeah.
And speaking of danger, let's pivot to the most obvious one in the kitchen.
Yeah.
We're mixing high voltage electricity with
Water.
water.
The two things that should never, ever meet. It's the danger zone.
Yeah. Sinks, dishwashers. The Hernandez guide has a whole section on this about installing GFCI outlets.
The GFCI, the ground fault circuit interrupter. If you look at an outlet in your kitchen or bathroom, it's the one with the little test and reset buttons on it.
Okay, I think everyone knows they're supposed to be there. But do they know what they actually do? Like, how is it different from the breaker in the main panel?
So a breaker in your panel protects the house from burning down. It trips if a wire gets too hot. A GFCI protects you from being electrocuted.
Oh,
It's constantly monitoring the current. It's basically counting the electrons going out on the hot wire and coming back on the neutral wire.
so it's doing math.
Constantly. And if there is a tiny, tiny imbalance like 5 milliamps, which is nothing, it means that electricity is leaking somewhere it shouldn't be, maybe through water or through a person. And that GFCI will cut the power
How fast?
in about 1/30th of a second.
Whoa, faster than you can even register it.
Way faster. And the guide is very specific on placement. New sinks, near countertops. This is not a suggestion. This is a strict code requirement. If you're remodeling in Newport Beach or Irvine and you don't put GFCIs near the sink, you will not pass that inspection. End of story.
And that actually leads to the aesthetic side of things, which, again,
Yeah.
surprises people. We don't think of lighting as a load issue. We think of it as mood.
Right. But it's a huge electrical puzzle. The Hernandez guide mentions this specifically. Think about a modern kitchen. You might want 20 recessed lights plus under cabinet lighting plus 3 pendant lights over the island.
Which looks amazing on social media.
It looks incredible. But 20 years ago, if you put 20 60-watt bulbs in a room, that's 1,200 watts of power. That's like running a small space heater constantly. You can't just add that to a circuit without doing the math.
But this is where it gets really interesting, because the Copperfield electric source actually brings up the solution: LED lighting.
Yes, exactly. Copperfield points out that LEDs are the #1 choice for homeowners now, and for very good reason.
They say LEDs are way more energy efficient than the old incandescent or fluorescent bulbs.
And that connects the dots perfectly. If you're worried about the load from all those lights in the Hernandez guide, switching to LEDs is the answer. A modern LED might use 8 watts to give you the same light as that old 60-watt bulb.
So you can have all the fancy lights you want.
You get the aesthetic you want while drawing less power. It's a win-win.
But there's always a but, isn't there? Even with efficient lights, we still have to talk about the main hub, the electrical panel.
The bottleneck. This is the issue I see all the time, especially in older neighborhoods like Santa Ana or parts of Anaheim.
The Hernandez guide calls this out: upgrade your electrical panel if necessary. And in Orange County, you've got this mix of brand new construction and these charming older homes.
Right. A house from the 60s or 70s might have a 60 amp, maybe a 100 amp panel. That was fine for the time, but it wasn't designed for dual ovens, wine fridges, and certainly not for charging an electric car in the garage.
It's like trying to run a new video game on a computer from 1995. It's just, it's going to crash.
It's going to crash. If you're adding all these new dedicated circuits we've been talking about, a licensed electrician has to do a load calculation. They have to see if your panel can even handle it. You might need a full upgrade to a 200 amp service.
And this all comes back to the code conversation. I feel like for a lot of people doing their own work, code feels like this big scary thing, just a bunch of rules.
It can feel that way, but the code is written for safety. Every single rule is there because of a past failure, a past fire. Inspectors in places like Costa Mesa are thorough for a reason. Ignoring the code means failed inspections, and that means tearing out brand new drywall to fix a wire. It's heartbreaking.
Which is the perfect segue, because listening to all this, load calculations, wire gauges, panel upgrades, it's overwhelming. You're just a homeowner who wants a nice kitchen. So who do you call when you're in over your head?
You need a professional. You need a guide.
Let's dive into the Copperfield Electric profile then. They're a family-owned business based out of Tustin, California on Copperfield Drive, which is just perfect branding.
It really is. And looking at what they offer, a few things really stand out. First off, they are a 24-hour electrician.
24/7 emergency services. Why is that so important?
Because your power doesn't go out at 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. It goes out on a Friday night when you have guests coming over. Knowing you can get someone out to your house in Irvine at 3 in the morning is huge. It's peace of mind.
And credibility, too. The source notes they are licensed. That's license number 1094740, bonded, insured. And all their technicians are background checked.
Which is non-negotiable. You're letting someone into your home, into your walls. You need that assurance.
I was also impressed by their scope. It's not just fixing a flickering light. They do EV charger installations, which is massive in Southern California.
Huge, and only getting bigger.
And ADU construction, those accessory dwelling units, panel upgrades, lighting repairs, the whole spectrum.
But the thing I really appreciated, it's in their philosophy. They talk about troubleshooting.
Oh yeah, I love this part.
They say, we are honest electricians who will only diagnose a problem if it truly exists.
That's so refreshing to hear.
It really is. There can be a temptation in any trade to upsell. But their approach seems to be, let's find the real problem and fix it, not invent new ones. That kind of integrity is. It's like finding a good mechanic. You stick with them.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So we pull all this together. We have the Hernandez guide telling us what we need. Dedicated circuits, GFCIs, panel capacity. And then we have a company like Copperfield showing us who can actually execute that plan safely.
Exactly.
And even with a guide, you're still going to have questions. The Hernandez source actually lists some common FAQs. Things like, how many 20-amp circuits do I need? Or what is the 2-6-12 rule?
And you know what the answer to almost all of those questions is? It depends.
Right. It's frustrating, but it's true.
There's no single number for how many circuits a kitchen needs. It depends entirely on your specific layout and your appliances. That just reinforces why you need a professional. They have to stand in your kitchen and do the math for your home.
So just to clarify that 2-6-12 rule.
Oh, that's about outlet spacing.
Yeah.
Basically, no point along a countertop wall can be more than 2 feet from an outlet. It's all about avoiding dangerous extension cords draped across your counter.
It always comes back to safety. So let's recap the formula for the perfect kitchen remodel for our listener.
Yeah.
What are the key steps?
Okay, step 1. Plan your circuits around your actual appliances. Know what you're buying before the walls are open. Step 2. GFCIs near every water source. No excuses. Step 3. Check your main panel capacity before you fall in love with a massive new range. And step 4. Call a licensed professional to do the work.
Simple, but absolutely critical.
Or it really is.
As we wrap up, I just want to remind you, the listener, of something. We spend all this time and energy picking out the perfect backsplash, the right cabinet pulls. But a kitchen is a workspace first and a showroom second. The invisible work, the copper in the walls, that's what keeps your family safe.
It's the foundation. Everything else is just decoration on top.
So if you're in the Orange County area and you're thinking, I have no idea if my panel is safe, or maybe you're dealing with a sudden outage, you can contact Copperfield Electric. They offer a free quote. The number is 626-622-9694, or you can find them online.
And remember, they're 207, so don't just sit in the dark wondering.
I want to leave you with one final thought to mull over, something that really struck me reading all this. We used to build our kitchens around fire, a hearth, a wood stove. Now we build them around the flow of electrons. And as our appliances get smarter, as our cars start plugging into our houses, is your 1970s electrical panel holding back your 2026 lifestyle?
That's a very big and very important question.
It is. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
Stay safe out there.